I am so excited about this. We are here with Amy Ratcliffe, who is here to talk about her brand new book.
Yeah, I don't even believe it's real. So this is just for their
Want to hold it?
Yes, I would love to.
Star Wars Women of the Galaxy. I did it. I'm still in shock, clearly, even though I did this a while ago. I didn't, it was definitely one of those things. I'm like, this is just a really elaborate ruse that you made me write all this text for, and we got all these artists to contribute, and you're going to be like, just kidding.
Just joking.
That'd be the worst thing.
This is be so maniacal. But then I got, once I started to see, the art and get advanced copy, I was like, oh, it's happening.
And can we show some of the art we're okay with?
Please.
So this book is absolutely beautiful. How many women are in this book?
So 75 female characters, and we really wanted to make it from, pull characters from not just the films, but the television series, the animated series, the comics, the video games, books, and I am a total Star Wars nerd, even though I am wearing Harry Potter today somehow, but...
fandoms.
You gotta do it.
They cross over, yes.
But it was such a joy. These are all the books and comics I read anyway, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, the artwork in this is amazing. How many different artists worked on the book?
18 different female and non-binary artists worked on the book. So.
Which is really cool. That's it means that it's about women. It is about people who identify either as non-binary or as a woman. And it features all types of women.
All types. That's something I really like is, we obviously know heroes like Leia and Rey and Padme and villains.
But there's villains,
Phasma.
yeah.
There are villains. There are bounty hunters. There's Jyn Erso's mom, Lyra, who is basically in a STEM career in Star Wars. And the Handmaidens. So the Handmaidens, we had a couple of them. So when we're like, okay, which characters do we include? My publisher, Chronicle Books, my editor there, and I talked, we kind of worked with Lucasfilm Story Group to decide how do we choose who to be in this book? And something that was really important to me was including those characters that maybe we don't see as much, that can introduce people to new stories or look at characters in a different way. And the Handmaidens are one of those because I don't know if people realize how completely kick butt the Handmaidens are.
Yeah.
They act as handmaidens, right, and dress Padme and pick out her wigs and all her things.
But also spies.
Yeah.
They're
espionage,
super,
protection,
trained.
bodyguard, yeah.
Yeah, and
they know all the things.
So I'm like, we need not to just have one or two handmaidens. we need to do a grouping, and they need this page all to themselves.
So what was the most fun about this book? What was the thing that you're like, everything else was great, but this is just everything?
Really getting the art, starting to see the art come back, because the writing process, we did it very quickly, and I would prefer never to work on that timeline again. And it was stressful, because I'm like, I want to do all these characters justice. Oh. And then once we started to see the art come back, and my editor would be like, I'm not supposed to show you this, but I'm going to show you this. I'm like, yes, please. And I'm just like, yes. These artists are getting to use their own style, which I think is cool. They didn't make them stay on any kind of model sheet or whatever. And they all brought the mood and tone of the character. So if you're looking at it imperially in this book, the picture's foreboding, and I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with her.
Now, this book is vast with knowledge, and the Star Wars universe is vast with so many characters. What is the research going into this book? Because there's a lot of characters in here that I'm sure many fans might not even be aware of. So what's it like combing through the Star Wars universe and finding these awesome women?
Oh man, what a joy when your work is well, tonight my plans are I need to reread these Star Wars books. Darn.
Sounds so hard.
It was
stressful.
Somebody's got to do it. But it was really, it was overwhelming, because something we didn't want to do with these profiles. We don't want them to be encyclopedia entries, because there are already books for that, and they're great. So we really wanted to celebrate accomplishments, pull out some key moments, look behind the scenes. So I got to dig through all my books, all my comics, all my behind-the-scenes books to look for quotes and making of information. But I definitely, my poor fiance, for a good 2 months, the apartment was well, here's a pile of books I'm just gonna need, so I'm not gonna put it away. It was a gauntlet, obstacle course.
And what I love about it is that it's got all the current women as well.
Yeah.
And so it's very interesting is like when you see a book because, and I know you talked about the speed of it, but normally when you see an encyclopedia or you see an all comprehensive book, they stop at a certain year. They just kind of give up. They're like, okay, this is enough.
This is all we can
We're
do.
done. This is all we got. This is all we got permission to do. But this goes all the way up there. Like Rose Tico is in the book.
Yeah.
You know, our favorite robot that starts the revolution is
L3.
in the book. Was that a challenge?
Yeah, because the initial draft of this, like I did it last winter, so it was before The Last Jedi was out, before Solo was out, and we also have a few characters from Star Wars Resistance, the new animated series, which doesn't premiere until October 7th. So there was definitely a lot of conversation with Lucasfilm, like, what kind of information can I have, and when can I have it? But a lot of them, like Solo, I couldn't write those characters until May. So they were very generous with providing me with what they could, when they could. But there was like, I took so many notes. Like I would get maybe a copy of an advanced book that had L3. There's this amazing book about Lando and Han across the different timelines called Last Shot. And it had a lot of L3. And I was able at least to like get a copy of that before the film. It came out. So I was like, just kind of piecing together secrets. And also, I'm better, thankfully, at keeping secrets now. But when I got this, I was like, I can't tell. And you gave me, like, I did the walkthrough for The Last Jedi. I'm like, who? I can't tell anybody. This is...
You're bursting it.
It's hard. And I work in the entertainment industry. So, like, at work, they'd be like, I wonder what's going on with The Last Jedi, this thing. I'm like,
Who knows?
No, I just suddenly have to go get coffee right now because I have no poker
Look
face.
at the time.
Look at my wrist. I gotta go.
Well, we have a question from the interwebs,
boy.
from the Twitters.
I love it.
Who is your favorite woman character in the Star Wars universe?
Oh my gosh, Ahsoka Tano, hands down. She was introduced in the Clone Wars.
I want to fight. You know what?
Yeah,
have
look
you
her
had it
up.
memorized what page she's on?
It's alphabetical.
She's early, so that helps, yes. Yeah, because I'm like, beginning-ish. She...
It's so beautiful.
Oh, I love her. So that's as when she first appeared as a very young Padawan to Anakin Skywalker. And when she premiered, like, she was young, she was kind of bratty. People are like, even I was like, I don't know about this character. Like, she's calling him Sky Guy. She's calling R2-D2 like R2-y. And I'm like, whoa. That's mean, but it's...
Talk about a character evolution.
Yeah, and she's like come such a long way.
Yeah.
She's appeared now in Clone Wars, Rebels, they're continuing Clone Wars, and just really matured into this amazing, strong character who is so persistent. Like, even after she gets out of the Jedi Order, she leaves, she could walk away from that entire life, and she finds herself back in the thick of things after Order 66. Like, she still doesn't, like, she goes into hiding for a little while, and then she's like, no, I can use my powers for good, and helps the rebellion. So, in times like these, and really all the time, like, to see someone who's like, I don't have to help, but I can, so I will, and I should. It's inspiring.
I love it.
Of course, yeah.
I love it.
Now, is there, coming through, you love Asuka, but is there a character that you discovered that you did not know before that you fell in love with, that you were like, how have I gone my entire life not knowing this?
Right, yes, especially, so I get behind on the comics because I wait for trades, so I'm always a little behind, and there was this character in the Darth Vader comic called Princess Trios, and Darth Vader, like, came to her planet, got rid of her family, tried to take control of the planet for its resources. And she was, like, scared of him, but also like, no, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to assert my control and, like, put myself on a level with you where we're peers, even though I am fully aware you could give me a force third hug anytime. And she really ended up being important. And then, like, in the comics goes on in Rogue One, the planet where they go first and discover the Kyber crystals, like, she was helpful to the Empire in getting the crystals out because of her mining knowledge. I'm a nerd, so I get so excited.
You're in the right place and amongst your people.
It's like such an amazing achievement.
So finding about characters like that and just learning more, and then hopefully, I hope when people read this and they're like, oh, I didn't know about this person, that will inspire them to be like, I need to go read this book or this comic and just immerse myself more.
And look, Amy's a hardcore Star Wars fan. There's someone that she didn't know. So what are the odds that you can discover all these amazing women in the Star Wars universe?
And I think the other cool thing about the book is that when you look at the images, they're realistic.
Yes.
They are really based off of the characters. With their diversity, it's also like we are giving you a real accurate image of this character. We're not tweaking it. We're not trying to conform to anything. This is about, I mean, we don't want to say real women, but yes, it's about real women.
Yeah.
Being, whether it's villain or hero or mom or sister or aunt or robot.
Yeah.
There's an astromech
absolutely.
droid. Yeah.
You know, and I think that it just makes it even more beautiful. Like the image of Val with her fro, kind of standing there. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and there's this character in who's great, V. Murati. She was in there's a book about Captain Phasma and her kind of origins, and V. Murati's this resistance spy who they're trying to get secrets about. Like one of Phasma's like rivals is be like, tell me the goods, like where'd she come from? And getting to see characters like that too, who have either never been illustrated because they've appeared only in books or like rarely, like that's been like, as someone who reads, I mean, every Star Wars thing mostly that comes out all the time, it's like, oh, I've never actually got to see this character outside of the picture in my head, you know? So it's been a delight, and I hope fans get excited about that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, because so is there a process like since you said some of these characters haven't been seen, do you get drafts? Is there like, well, here's the first version of this, and you're like, oh, do you have any input into that, or what's that relationship like with the artists?
It was definitely with my editor and my assistant editor at Chronicle, and they kind of communicate with the artists, and like goodness bless them, because there were 18 artists, and there are there are 110 illustrations, so they really had the undertaking to. Look at all of that and keep all of that on track. So I got lucky in that I just got to look at the pretty pictures when they showed up in my inbox.
Well, it's not a bad, like you said, at one point your responsibilities were reading Star Wars novels and then waiting for emails with amazing Star Wars art.
Right? It's not
None
awful.
of this sounds...
There's no
So
doubt.
what you're saying is that you had the dream job.
Yes.
You've lived the dream.
Yes.
And now the dream is sitting in front of us.
And it's real.
It's
when
real.
I was in it, it did not feel like a dream. I'm like, how many words have I written today? I have to go to work. What time? You know, like all those things. But so worth it. And I'm so proud. And people have responded. We did a panel last night about the book and had a signing after. And people just responded. Like, I was just overwhelmed. I cried like happy tears yesterday, like so many times.
Good.
Well, I know everybody out there, please check out the book, Women of the Galaxy.
Out October 30th.
October 30th. Boom. You were just right
I was like,
on
I gotta
it.
get on it.